You awaken, not because of sound or light or hunger, but because something inside you decides it is time. Your eyelids flutter, still half glued by sleep. You shift your head just slightly, feeling the familiar texture of the blanket under your cheek. The fabric smells like sunlight and yesterday's dreams. You blink, once, then slowly again. Not out of confusion, but contemplation. Because a cat does not wake suddenly. A cat eases back into the waking world as if dipping one paw into a quiet stream. Your ears twitch independently, left, then right. The house breathes around you, the low hum of distant appliances, the creak of old wood settling, a gust of wind brushing the windows from the outside. You stretch. One paw slides forward, claws flexing just barely. Your spine curves in a graceful arc, tail lifting with practiced elegance. A quiet yawn escapes you, barely a sound at all, just a breath. The sun hasn't touched you yet, but you sense it. The warmth is coming. You can feel the edge of it glowing just beyond the foot of the bed, waiting to crawl toward your fur. So you wait. Not impatiently, never impatiently. Waiting is an art, one you've mastered through lives lived in leisure. You knead the blanket, left, right, press, curl, pull. A rhythm inherited from generations past, back when your ancestors shaped straw nests in barns or drifted through desert sands. Instinct isn't questioned, it's honored. You listen. Somewhere, water drips from a kitchen faucet, a refrigerator cycles on, a neighbor's dog barks distantly and then forgets why. You don't move. Movement isn't necessary yet. Time, after all, bends for you. Did you know cats sleep, on average, 13 to 16 hours a day? You do. You live it. But sleep isn't absence. It's a dimension of its own. You don't just nap. You travel. Through dreams. Through senses. Through sensations too subtle for humans to notice. You roll onto your side. The blanket folds underneath your ribs just right. You feel the rise and fall of your breathing, slow, deep, steady. Your tail curls gently against your thigh. You flex it once, let it fall still. Outside, a bird flutters across the roof. The wings whisper against the shingles. Your eyes don't open fully, but you hear it, you know it, you always know. Eventually, the warmth finds you. It starts at your paw pads. Tiny pulses of heat from the sunbeams sliding in through the curtain. It moves up your forearms, spills across your belly. You tilt your chin, exposing your throat to the golden light. That sunlight. It's not just warmth, it's a story. A slow, patient story written in photons across your fur. You stretch again, this time more fully. A ripple of muscle, fur, memory, grace. You twist, roll, then flop to your other side. The world looks different from here, slightly tilted, but still quiet, still yours. A soft purr rumbles in your chest, almost imperceptible. A sound made not for others, but for yourself, like tuning your own instrument. The room is quiet, but full of meaning. Each object holds your scent, your memory, your approval. The chair leg you scratched once, the corner of the couch you claimed with your side, the window ledge, still dusted with paw prints, and then a sound. A soft thump down the hall, a door, a voice. You're human. You listen. Head raised now, eyes open halfway, your ears triangulate. The human is awake. They're stepping across the kitchen tile. You wait, because you're not going to run to them. You are not a dog. Eventually you rise, slow and certain. You walk across the bed in deliberate silence, each step practiced, delicate. The blanket barely rustles beneath you. You pause at the edge, survey the leap. It's simple, but you do not rush. You leap only when you choose to, and when you do, it is silent, effortless, a whisper of fur and precision. Your paws land on the wood floor without a sound. You cross the room. The hallway stretches before you like a corridor of potential. You sniff the air. You always sniff, not because you're curious, but because you're aware. Scent carries everything: emotion, memory, meals. Did you know cats can detect scent markers hundreds of times more subtle than a human can? that your nose filters the world like a sacred text, always decoding, always knowing. You rub your cheek against the doorway, marking it, not with force, just with familiarity. It's yours, all of this is. Your claws tap gently as you walk, a barely audible percussion to the morning's quiet symphony. You pass the hallway rug, a patch you've shredded slightly over time, not out of malice, but as a form of art. Texture exploration, feedback, a tiny rebellion. You pause before the corner, sit, then swivel your body to groom your flank. Lick, smooth, lick. Your tongue rasps through fur like a sacred ritual. The silence is not empty. It's full of everything. Dust motes in sunbeams, distant traffic like waves, the ticking of a wall clock in the next room. Your human moves again, cabinet doors. You stir again, not because of need, but because the world has shifted. The sunbeam that once cradled you on the windowsill has crept away, leaving only a faint trace of its warmth in the grain of the wood. You rise slowly, stretching one leg at a time. There's no rush, no urgency. You glide from the windowsill like silk, falling from a hook, and land on the kitchen floor with a muffled thump, barely a sound. The morning is well underway. You can sense it in the way the light hangs in the hallway, slightly more golden, more angled. You wander without direction, because direction is overrated. A cat doesn't plan, a cat discovers. Your claws click faintly as you pad across the tile, moving toward the living room. The couch is where you once discovered a forgotten hair tie, a treasure that became a toy, then a trophy, then a quiet companion beneath the refrigerator. You remember it. You remember everything. Did you know cats have an exceptional spatial memory? You can recall exact spots, heights, distances. You never forget the location of your favorite nap corner or which step creaks on the staircase. You climb the back of the couch with your claws sheathed. No need to damage what you already own. At the top, you perch. High ground, sovereign territory. From here you can survey the room, the hallway, the human. They're eating now. You hear the clink of a spoon against a ceramic bowl, the crinkle of packaging, the sigh of a chair leg against the floor. You watch from behind the veil of your narrowed gaze. You observe, absorb, and analyze. You are not aloof. You are aware. Your tail curls around your paws. Stillness overtakes you again, but not boredom. Never boredom. Your mind hums with quiet calculations. The distance to the floor, the sound of the refrigerator hum, the rhythm of the human's steps. Then a sound breaks the ordinary. The rattle of a drawer, the squeak of the door below the sink, the appearance of the vacuum. You don't move, not yet. The machine is dormant, a plastic shell, silent. But your ears flatten instinctively. Your body prepares, just in case. You wait. The moment it comes to life, you leap down, not with panic, but with perfect efficiency. A twist of muscle, a bound, and you're out of sight. Behind the armchair, between the bookshelf and the wall, cloaked in shadow. You listen. The mechanical roar tears through the quiet of your home. A storm without wind. An intruder you've long learned to tolerate, but never trust. You hunker low. Cats are crepuscular by nature, most active at dawn and dusk, but you remain alert even now in the mid-morning clamor, still, watchful, ready. Eventually, the vacuum sighs one final time and dies. You wait another moment, just to be sure. Then, with supreme grace, you emerge, unshaken, unbothered, but not forgetful. You will remember this indignity, you always do. Your human apologizes with a voice that lilts upward. They speak your name in the tone that means affection. You blink slowly in reply, a truce. You forgive easily, but you never forget. Back into the quiet now. You saunter into the hallway, past the closet door, and enter the bedroom again, not for sleep, but for ritual. The sunlight has found its way to a new patch of carpet. You lower yourself into it without hesitation, paws tucked beneath you, tail curling along your flank. The warmth is immediate, software deep. You begin to groom, not because you are dirty, you're never truly dirty, but because grooming is peace. Your tongue rasps across your fur. Your spine bends to angles a human would envy. You groom in silence, except for the faint whisper of your breath and the delicate scrape of your tongue against fur. Did you know that grooming regulates a cat's body temperature and blood flow? That it reduces stress? It's meditation in motion, a purification. Your fur lies flat again, smooth, satin-like. You lift your head and sit perfectly still. There's nothing to do now but be. Outside the window, birds gather near the feeder, small flitting things with twitchy wings and darting eyes. Your pupils expand, tracking each one. Your ears lock onto their chirps with sonar precision. You don't lunge. You don't chatter. You don't even blink. You simply witness. Your heart races slightly, thrill without pursuit. You indulge in the quiet fantasy of the hunt, a whisper of your ancient lineage. Domesticated? Maybe. But deep in your cells, a lion still lounges. A panther still waits in tall grass. A saber-toothed ancestor still stalks the quiet world of prehistory. All of them, now reduced into you, the perfect purring package. You inhale deeply. Your nose catches a breeze of something new, the scent of earth, of pollen, of passing air through the slightly open window. The wind shifts. You twitch your whiskers. They catch the breeze like antennae, decoding the movement of molecules invisible to any other creature in this home. Did you know whiskers are rooted 3 times deeper than normal fur? That they're connected to nerves so sensitive they can detect even the subtlest vibration in the air? It's how you feel the world, even when you're still. You reposition yourself, stretch, turn once, then again, and lay down anew. A slow exhale leaves you, a sigh that almost sounds human. You curl tighter this time, the way a galaxy might, the way planets fold into themselves. Everything about your shape is designed for rest and for readiness. In this moment, there's no schedule, no obligation, just sensation. You dream lightly, of the time you jumped from the counter to the fridge and landed without effort, of the rustling bag you tore open when left alone, of the bird you almost, but not quite, caught through the screen door. Dreams drift across your mind like shadows across the floor. They are soft and fleeting. You follow none of them completely. You don't need to. Your human walks past the doorway. You don't open your eyes. But you know. Their footsteps pause. They whisper your name. You blink, but keep your body still. A gentle hum of pleasure vibrates in your throat. It is enough. You hear the world resume. The rustle of keys, the zip of a coat, the door opening and closing. Alone again, but not lonely. You rise, then stretch. The door closes. A muffled click echoes into stillness. Your human has left. You remain in your spot, stretched long and lazy across the bedroom carpet, basking in the silence left behind. The quiet is no longer dotted by voices or footsteps. It is complete now, thick and pure. The house is yours. The temperature shifts almost imperceptibly. You know this because your body feels everything. The way the light fades just a degree. The subtle tremble of the air when the heat kicks on. You lift your head, glance toward the window, and blink slowly. Nothing urgent, just time. Your paws flex in the softest of stretches. You rise, fluid as a ribbon falling in reverse. No bones crack, no joints complain. Every motion you make is effortless, as if your body remembers a rhythm the rest of the world has forgotten. You pad quietly into the hallway again, a place you've crossed hundreds of times, and yet each walk feels new. The sun has moved on, slipping from the east-facing windows to paint new golden rectangles across the floorboards. You step into one of those glowing spots. You sit, then lay, then stretch, just enough so the light touches your belly, and you breathe. The breath isn't conscious, it just is. Inhale through your tiny nose where thousands of scent receptors work like a living library. Exhale through your mouth, releasing heat and thought all at once. Nothing presses on your mind, no memory you feel the need to relive, no concern for the hours ahead. Only now, only warmth, only being. Cats do not plan, they exist. Did you know your brain, though much smaller than a human's, shares a similar structure? nearly 90% of the same regions? Your emotions, reactions, and sleep patterns follow a logic deep within your mammalian ancestry. You feel in ways science is only beginning to understand. You rest your head on your paw, eyelids half shut, still alert, still listening. In the silence, you hear everything. The refrigerator buzz in the distance, the hum of electricity flowing through the walls, the shift of wood as it breathes with the day's warmth. Every sound has meaning, but no sound requires reaction, not now. Instead, you groom again. This time, you start with your paw, a few slow licks. Then, delicately, you raise it to your face and swipe in upward arcs, over your nose, across your brow, behind your ears. You repeat the pattern, one side, then the other. A feline ablution, quiet, sacred. Your ears twitch, one after the other, at a sound outside. Children laugh on the street. A dog barks, chasing shadows. You ignore them. Their energy is not your energy. Instead, you move toward the window, where the curtain sways slightly from the vent below. You step between the folds of fabric and nestle into the warm sill. It smells of dust and sun and yesterday's weather. From here, the world is yours to watch. A passing car kicks up leaves. A bird lands on the fence. A squirrel races up the oak tree with something clutched in its mouth, likely stolen, possibly sacred, definitely irrelevant. You watch it all. Your tail flicks once. Did you know your tail is more than an extension of balance? It's a language. Each flick, curl, and sway is communication, not just to others, but to yourself. A mood ring made of fur and sinew. You tuck your paws under your chest, forming that perfect loaf, a position of calm observation, of safety, of pride. Hours pass like mist. The light shifts again. You rest, but you don't sleep, not deeply, not yet. Instead, your mind drifts. You think in the way a cat thinks, without language, without past or future. You process sensation, temperature, vibration. You recall the hiding place beneath the couch, the rustle of the treat bag, the exact sound your human makes when they return from the outside world. You know the cycle. You've studied it. Humans move fast, speak loud, sleep oddly. They forget where they put things. They pretend they're not animals. You never pretend. You live with total honesty of instinct. You move because you feel. You sleep because it heals. You leap because you can. You breathe, you wait, you watch. And when the dust motes dance in the angled sunlight, you swat at one, just once. Not because you thought about it, but because you felt like it. Then you settle again. A motion so natural it almost rewrites the laws of rest. You nap, a micro nap, a blink between seconds. Did you know cats can sleep lightly for hours at a time, entering a state where their body rests but their senses stay tuned? A half sleep, a conscious slumber. You do it without effort. You twitch once. Your ear folds at the tip, then unfolds. A breeze brushes through the cracked window, and you inhale deeply. Scents of earth, tree bark, the faint hint of rain on distant pavement. This is your world. Even what you can't touch belongs to you. When you wake fully again, it's with no memory of falling asleep, only a sense of continuation. The present doesn't move forward. It simply is, and you ride along with it. You hop down again, quiet. Your paws hit the floor without sound. Your stomach murmurs, barely. A reminder, not a demand. You pad softly toward the kitchen. The food bowl is half full. You inspect it, sniff. Turn your head, sniff again. Not spoiled, not fresh, just adequate. You eat 2 pieces, crunch, crunch, then walk away, because you can. You hop onto the chair where your human sometimes reads, and you curl into the divot they left. It smells like them. A mix of skin and fabric and safety. You need it. A few good presses. Left paw, right paw. Your eyes half closed, purring now, not loudly but steadily, like a low, ancient engine inside you, idling. You close your eyes again, not to sleep exactly, but to drift. Your body folds inward. Your breathing slows. The house sighs around you. Another day, another rhythm. You are not bored. You are not waiting. You are simply here. And that is everything. Time is no longer measured in minutes, but in temperature, light, and the slow migration of dust through beams of sun. You lie still, coiled atop the chair cushion, paws tucked under, tail curved gently to your side. The scent of your human lingers in the fabric. Familiar, mildly floral, clean. You are not sleeping. Not truly. Your eyes are closed, but every part of you is listening. Your ears twitch at the distant shift of tree branches beyond the window. You hear a car in the alley, the hum of a distant lawnmower, somewhere blocks away. These things do not disturb you. They simply are. You absorb them like sunlight. Your breathing is slow. So slow, in fact, that if someone were to watch, they might think you were carved from velvet, a living statue of ease. Eventually, your eyelids lift, not wide, just enough to reveal the room again. Still, peaceful, just how you left it. You shift position with grace, roll to your side, extend one leg, let it hang lazily off the cushion's edge, then the other. Your head follows, settling into the groove made permanent by years of naps. You purr again, almost unconsciously. Did you know cats purr not only when content, but also to heal? Frequencies between 25 and 150 hertz promote tissue regeneration and bone density. You're not just soothing yourself, you're restoring. The room grows warmer now as the afternoon matures. Your belly feels at first soft heat against your fur, the kind that travels through you like a story you already know the ending to. You rise, not with speed, but with certainty. You leap gently from the chair and stretch in a curve so elegant it belongs in a painting. Then you walk, slowly, into the next room. Here, the rug is plush. The curtains flutter slightly from a draft in the window. The scent of the outdoors rides in on the wind. Wet earth, warm asphalt, something faintly green. You approach the rug's edge and flop, not fall, not collapse. Flop. Like you've given in to gravity but made it look like a decision. You lay on your side, limbs sprawled, ears relaxed. The clock ticks. The wind sighs. Your tail flicks once, just once. A moment passes, and then another. You watch the ceiling now, tracing the dance of shadows from the branches outside. They move like ink in water. You follow each wave with your eyes. There is a fly on the window. It buzzes, lands, skitters. You listen. The sound is insignificant, but not unnoticed. You blink. You rise. You leap to the sill again, barely pressing against the wall as you launch. The fly startles and darts upward, smacking into the glass. You don't pounce. Not right away. Instead, you wait. Because hunting is not always about catching. Sometimes it's about being ready. The fly lands. You flick your paw lazily toward it. It escapes. You watch it vanish into the space between bookshelves. You don't follow. Not because you can't, but because you choose not to. You curl back onto the sill, tuck your limbs neatly beneath you, and return to stillness. Your eyes close. Another nap begins, the kind that isn't sleep, the kind that's closer to meditation. You dream again, but only halfway. You're on the roof now, in the dream, a place you once touched in reality. The shingles are hot beneath your paws. The world below hums with summer. You sit like a gargoyle, above everything, watching. That's your gift. That's your art, watching. You flick an ear as the breeze changes direction. A neighbor opens a mailbox across the street. You wake again, not startled, but aware. Always aware. You leap down, land on the floor, and begin to walk the house in slow procession. The patrol, your silent right. You visit each room in your chosen order. The kitchen, familiar. The bowl, still half full, you sniff and pass by. The bathroom, where the water sometimes drips, and you watch the droplets slide into the porcelain bowl like comets. The hallway, scented with the warmth of midday. You roll once just for the feel of the floor on your back. The closet, left ajar. You enter. Nest yourself in the soft pile of shirts at the bottom. You burrow briefly, then emerge. All is well. Patrol complete. You hop onto your favorite shelf, not the highest, but the one with the view. You fold yourself into a neat loaf and stare out the window again. Children ride bikes. A leaf blows upward in the breeze, only to float gently downward. Someone walks a dog, tugging at the leash, unaware of the spectacle they are. You purr, just a little. Did you know cats can vocalize over 100 different sounds? That purrs, meows, chirrups, and trills all carry meaning? You communicate not with language, but with presence, with tone, with touch. The sun has moved again. You stretch, stand, and jump down. You walk to the door. It is closed. But you sit before it and wait, not because you want to go out, but because you want to remind the world you could if you wished. You paw once at the frame, then lie beside it, waiting, watching, breathing. You lie near the door in the hush of the afternoon's last breath. The sun has dipped lower now, no longer spilling warmth, but instead casting long, amber shadows across the floor like slow-moving rivers of gold. Your body is still, but your mind is not. Your ears turn, independently of your eyes, catching everything. A passing truck, the flutter of wings. The house itself groans gently in its wooden bones. You know each sound by heart, like a conductor following familiar notes in a slow symphony. Stillness doesn't mean idleness. It means mastery. Outside, the neighborhood begins to shift from day to dusk. Somewhere, someone is cooking. You smell a waft of sizzling oil, garlic, something savory and sharp. It mingles with the scent of old wood, fabric, and the fading trace of your human's presence. You breathe deeply, your nose twitching slightly, taking it all in. Did you know a cat's sense of smell is about 14 times stronger than a human's? You can track time by scent alone. How fresh the laundry is, how long the window's been cracked open, how recently the couch cushion was sat on. You rise slowly, not rushed, not lazy, just precise. Your body coils back into motion like a spring unspooling. You stretch your front legs far in front of you, arching your spine into a perfect crescent moon. Then, your back legs follow, extending behind in a ripple of feline grace. You pace back toward the kitchen, not because you're hungry, but because checking is part of the rhythm. You jump up to the counter, even though you're not supposed to. You land silently, weightless, and pause there. A glass of water. You tilt your head and sniff the rim. Cool, slightly metallic, undisturbed. You lean in and lap it once, just to taste, just because you can. Then you hop back down and head toward the hallway closet. The door is ajar. Inside, linens, forgotten shoes, a small pile of bath towels. One of them smells like the ocean. The other smells like the human soap. You climb in, you turn again, and then collapse into a tight circle of contentment. You sleep, for real this time, the kind of sleep that dissolves boundaries. Your breathing slows, your paws twitch faintly, and the world beyond your eyelids becomes another kind of playground. You dream of chasing something not out of need, but joy. A feather that moves like a moth, a laser dot that dances on the wall, the feeling of wind in your fur from an open window. You're faster here, even faster than usual. You are a blur, a wisp of instinct wrapped in light. You flick a paw in your sleep. You murmur deep in your throat. You are dreaming, and somewhere in that dream, you see your human. Not clearly, just the outline, the voice, the comfort. You wake when the light changes, not a noise, not a touch, just a shift. A golden haze has given way to the cool blue of twilight. You know this hour, this sacred moment when the world turns from waking to winding down. You rise, blink, step out from the closet, and stretch once more, tail curling like a question mark behind you. You wander to the window again. The feeder is empty now. The birds have vanished. But the sky is filled with movement, clouds blushed with pink, air cool and clean. You jump onto the sill and sit tall. Your eyes narrow slightly, your pupils widen. The night is coming, and with it, your truest energy. Did you know cats are crepuscular? It means you're most active at dawn and dusk. These in-between hours stir something deep in your bones, an echo of ancient twilight, hunts, and moonlit stalking, of wild places where your ancestors moved through forests, unseen but never unnoticed. You jump down and patrol the house again, not from fear, from ritual, from knowing. You pass the dining table, nothing changed. You sniff the base of a chair, still yours. You enter the bedroom and hop onto the bed, turning in a spiral before sitting at the center like a king atop his throne. The human scent is faint but constant here. You purr, low and steady. This too is territory. Yours. You clean your shoulder, slowly. Lick, pause, flick ear. Lick again. You hear something now, distant but growing. Footsteps, a key, the turning of a knob. The door. You leap from the bed and walk toward the front door with quiet expectation. The human returns. They say your name. Your ears perk forward, your whiskers widen. You do not run. You do not meow. You wait until they kneel to greet you, and then you walk up to them, rub against their leg, tail lifted high, in a perfect question mark. You are not needy. You are welcoming. They scratch your head gently. You close your eyes and lean into the motion. A reward, a return. You purr again, louder now. They speak in soft tones, unintelligible words, but you understand the meaning, the rhythm, the affection buried in the sound. They move through the house now, changing clothes, rustling bags, turning on lights. You follow, not closely, just enough to know. Then they open the cabinet. The sound, that sound. You trot closer now, not fast, but with purpose. They pour food into the bowl. You sniff. Still fresh, still good. You eat, slowly, one bite at a time. Your human sits at the couch, flicking through the glowing screen. The room fills with warm lamplight, and outside, night has finally arrived. You finish your meal, groom your paws, and leap up beside them. They place a blanket beside them, an invitation. You accept. You curl into a crescent on the blanket, touching their thigh, just enough to share warmth. They reach down and scratch the top of your head. You purr, you sleep, but only lightly, because even now, you are the watcher, the quiet one, the one who owns the night. The house is quiet again, but not the same quiet as earlier. This is nighttime quiet, deeper, still, wrapped in soft shadows and the hum of sleepiness. The television glows faintly across the room, painting flickers of blue and yellow across the floor. Your human lies stretched on the couch, one arm hanging low, the other resting over their chest. You can hear the rhythm of their breath, slow even, predictable. They're not asleep yet, but they're close. You're beside them, curled up in your usual spot, where the blanket dips just slightly, where it always cradles you like a nest. Your body is warm from your evening meal. Your whiskers twitch occasionally, not from tension, but from dreaming before dreaming begins. You rest your chin over your front paw, your tail draped along the edge of the couch. You blink slowly. Night has fully arrived. Outside, the world has gone quiet. No more birdsong, no distant barking. The streetlights hum with static energy. The shadows outside your window stretch like long fingers across the pavement. But here inside, everything is soft, safe. Did you know cats can see in light levels 6 times lower than what humans need? You don't just see the dark, you understand it. Every shape, every flicker, every silent movement. You watch the screen with half-lidded eyes. You don't understand what it's showing, faces, motions, sounds, but you understand the mood. The room feels calm, and that's enough. You shift slightly in place and begin grooming again. Your back leg lifts effortlessly, and you clean behind your ear with a focused, rhythmic grace. Lick, swipe, lick, swipe. You pause to scratch under your chin, then start again. Your human moves slightly, murmuring something in a half-dream voice. You respond with a low trill, not a meow, but something softer. It's your way of saying, I hear you, I'm here. And then you stretch, long, luxuriously, and hop off the couch. You land without a sound. Now it's time for your true nighttime ritual. You pad softly to the hallway and begin your second patrol. Every room, every corner. Not because something is wrong, but because you've always done this. You must know. You must check. The kitchen light is off now. The food bowl remains, untouched since earlier. The water reflects moonlight from the window above. You move to the bedroom. The door is cracked open. You nose it gently and slip inside. The air here is cooler, quieter still. You leap onto the bed, and there, your second throne. A blanket folded near the pillow, a spot pressed with warmth from an earlier nap. It still smells like the sun. You curl into it. Need, need, need. Then purr, low, constant. The sound vibrates through your chest and into the mattress. It's more than comfort. It's a declaration. I belong here. You close your eyes and drift again. But this time, your sleep is lighter. You are waiting. You are always, in some small way, waiting. Eventually, you hear the footsteps. Software familiar. Your human arrives, brushing teeth, clicking lights, folding clothing. They enter the room and smile when they see you. You don't open your eyes, but you purr louder. They move around you, the rustling of sheets, the creak of the bed frame, the final click of the lamp turning off. Now it's dark, but not empty, just full of quiet, full of trust. Your human settles beside you, shifting into sleep position. You shift too, adjusting, curling in tighter, head nestled along the bend of their knees. The warmth is immediate, the safety absolute. You do not speak, you do not need to. This is your place. You are their protector, their quiet witness, their warm shadow, and they are yours. You both fall into sleep. Did you know cats can sleep 12 to 16 hours a day and still remain alert to danger, comfort, or food? Sleep for you is not escape. It's preservation. It's practice. It's ritual. You drift through it like a cloud, dreaming again. This time, it's your kittenhood. You're small, curled into your mother's side, her breath a steady rhythm. You remember the heat, the sound of your siblings, the security of fur against fur. Even now, years later, that memory lives in your bones. That's why you purr. That's why you need. That's why you curl into others. The memories of kittens do not fade. They shape your soul. You stir. Outside, a bird rustles in the bushes. You lift your head, ears swiveling. Nothing urgent, just noted. You lower your head again, and this time, your sleep deepens. The kind of sleep where even dreams go silent, where breath becomes mist, where nothing moves, where you simply are, a cat, at rest, perfect, complete. Night has folded itself fully around the house. Everything is still. The only light now comes from the moon outside the window, pale and wide, like an eye that never blinks. It casts a cold silver path across the bedroom floor. Shadows stretch like long whiskers into every corner. You are not quite asleep. You are drifting between, floating in that soft veil of in-between, where thoughts do not form as words, but as feelings, textures, colors. You know the hour is late, but you do not count time. You feel it. You feel the depth of night in your bones, in the quiet hum of the walls, in the way your human barely stirs anymore. Your ears flick toward the window as a breeze dances through the cracked pane. It brings with it the scent of dew, pavement, pine bark, and a distant skunk. You wrinkle your nose at that last one, then settle deeper into your curve. Your tail curls tightly around your flank. You purr, quiet, barely there, more vibration than sound. Somewhere down the street, a dog barks once and is hushed. A moth taps lightly against the window glass. The refrigerator clicks. These are not threats. These are just layers of the night. And you, little one, are woven into them. You rise slowly like mist off the ground. Every motion deliberate. You leap down from the bed without waking your human. You land on the carpet with a sound softer than breath. Patrol time again. Even now, in the deepest part of the night, your instincts stretch their legs. You pad through the hallway, pausing in the kitchen doorway. The moonlight spills through the blinds like broken stripes. It paints you in shadows, zebra-like, ancient. You walk between those pale lines and sit in the center of the tile floor, listening, not thinking, knowing. The house is safe. Nothing stirs beyond what should stir. But still, you walk. To the bathroom, where the sink reflects the stars. You hop up to the counter and drink water from a shallow pool left behind by the evening routine. It's cool, tastes like metal and memory. You leap down again, tail high. In the living room, the air is different, charged with faint electricity from all the sleeping machines. You nose at a fallen sock, paw it once, then ignore it, too still to be prey. You walk to the front window and rise to the sill. Outside, the street is empty, the occasional blink of a street lamp, the silent cruise of a car that passes without sound. You sit like a statue, alert but relaxed. You've been watching for generations. Did you know cats were revered in ancient cultures not just for their grace or independence, but for their ability to see beyond the veil? Egyptians believed you walked between worlds, guardians of the threshold, creatures of the night who chased away evil spirits and guarded dreams. You blink slowly, the way cats do when they say, "I trust you." Then you rise, stretch, and return to the bedroom. Your human shifts under the blankets, murmuring some sound that isn't language. You jump back onto the bed, landing on a different corner this time. You sit, curling your tail around your feet, eyes reflecting moonlight. You stare into the dark. Nothing there, just possibility. You lower yourself slowly into a curl, tucking your head into the cradle of your paws. Another deep breath. You purr again, this time longer. Like a lullaby you sing only to yourself. The rhythm lulls you, but not to sleep. Yet, you remember faintly the day your human brought you home, the cardboard box, the scent of another place, the softness of the first blanket they gave you, the slow days of discovery. You didn't love them right away. You watched, you studied, you waited, and eventually you decided, yes, this is yours, this home, this human. You chose them. They think they chose you, but you know the truth. You rest now at the foot of the bed, eyes nearly closed. The silence grows, and in it your thoughts wander. Not forward, not backward, just sideways, into the folds of the now. What does a cat think about in the deepest part of night? Not the future, not regrets, just sensations. The feel of the mattress, the scent of clean linen, the twitch in your whiskers when a dream brushes past, the impulse to flick your tail and then not. Even in perfect stillness you are aware. Even in complete darkness you see. Even when asleep, you are present. And so, you let yourself go. Not all at once, but gradually. You exhale longer. Your purring slows. Your eyes close, lids heavy with peace. The moon moves on, the shadows shift. Your breathing becomes one with the rhythm of the house. A soft breeze rustles the curtain. You do not wake, you do not stir, you are a house cat. Safe, warm, curious, and so very, very still. Night has settled into its deepest silence. Even the wind has grown tired. The house is asleep. Not just your human, but the rooms, the floors, the very air. Everything feels suspended, like the world is holding its breath. And you, little cat, are still curled at the foot of the bed. Your tail no longer flicks. Your paws are tucked, soft and slow, and your face is relaxed in the kind of peace only you can wear so naturally. Somewhere in the room, a clock ticks softly. One of those quiet, rhythmic ticks that never quite disappears. You've heard it your whole life, and you've come to depend on it, not as a signal, not as time, but as texture, a part of the background music of your existence. You do not need the tick to measure your sleep. Your body already knows everything it needs to know. You stretch once, just a gentle roll of the spine, a twitch of one leg, and then you settle again. Somewhere in your dreams, you chase. Something fast, something invisible. But it's not about the catch. It's about the motion, the thrill of movement. You twitch. You purr once, then silence returns. The night presses on. Did you know that in deep sleep, cats experience REM just like humans? Your dreams might not be in words or even full scenes, but they are real to you. Smells, shapes, instincts relived, the memory of the breeze, the feel of grass under paw, a moth that flickers out of reach, the echo of your mother's voice from kittenhood. The hours pass unnoticed. The bedroom grows even darker, but the darkness is soft, not cold, not empty. It cradles you. It whispers over you like a warm towel pulled from the dryer. Eventually, the first shift begins. A faint glow, just barely there, nudges at the edge of the window pane. It's not sunlight, not yet, but the world beyond is changing. Your whiskers twitch. You do not open your eyes, not yet, but your body knows what comes next. You stretch again, more fully now, a complete arc of your back. Your legs extend and curl in again. You yawn, wide, slow. Your tongue curls upward, and your eyes squeeze shut with the motion. Then silence again. You rise. You turn in a circle at the foot of the bed, then leap down softly to the floor. The house is still dark, but the color of the shadows is different now. Less blue, more gray. You pad through the hallway once more. Another patrol, but this one different from the rest. This is the morning patrol, the pre-morning patrol. You move from room to room as if checking each one for signs of life. The kitchen, unchanged. You hop up to the window and peer out. The sky is a dull silver. The streetlights still burn, but they look tired. You press your nose to the glass. Cool, moist. Dawn is near. You leap down and head to the door, sit before it. Wait, watch. No meows, no scratches. Just the silent statement, I am here. You listen. A car passes slowly outside. The neighbor's porch light flicks on. Somewhere far away, a bird tries the first chirp of the day, hesitant, like it's checking to see if the world is ready to begin. You look toward the hallway, you wait. Eventually the sound comes, blanket rustling, a sigh, feet swinging over the side of the bed. Your human has stirred. You move to the doorway, tail up. A greeting, not a demand, just a presence. You lead them wordlessly toward the kitchen, the way you always do. They flip a switch. Warm yellow light spills across the tiles. You blink against it. The bowl is checked. The water is freshened. You're not especially hungry, not yet. But you take a few bites anyway. Crunch. Pause. Crunch again. You rub once against your human's leg, then walk to your morning spot. By the sliding glass door, where the light will hit just right in another few minutes. You curl into place and wait for warmth, for light, for another nap. Your eyes grow heavy again. The night is over, and so is this chapter. But your day, it's only beginning, and it will be boring. Beautifully, wonderfully boring, just as it should be, because you are a house cat, and this is your quiet kingdom. The sun is up now. You don't look directly at it. There's no need. You can feel its warmth already crawling along the floor, climbing the edges of the curtains like soft golden vines. Your eyelids remain low. You're not fully asleep, but not entirely awake either. You exist in that perfect state cats have perfected, aware but detached, present yet dreaming. The light reaches your fur and pools across your back. You shift slightly, adjusting your position just enough to maximize surface area. A slow sigh drifts from your throat, half purr, half breath, and then stillness. The house begins to wake behind you, footsteps, a running faucet, drawers opening. You listen, not because it matters, because it's routine, and you love routine. You stretch one leg behind you and flex your toes, then the other. Your tail flicks once, then settles. You clean your flank lazily, each stroke of your tongue a declaration that this body is yours, kept clean not for show, but for pride. Did you know cats can spend 30 to 50% of their waking hours grooming? It's part hygiene, part comfort, and part habit. Grooming lowers stress, restores your scent, and reminds your muscles of their quiet strength. You pause mid-lick and look toward the kitchen. You can hear your human moving now. Toast, water, maybe eggs, maybe not. It doesn't matter. They're humming today. You like when they hum. You don't know the tune, but it feels like a heartbeat. You rise and walk slowly, regally, into the kitchen. You greet them with a gentle rub against the ankle. You've already eaten, but they sprinkle a few extra treats into your bowl. A gift, a morning offering. You accept them with quiet dignity. And then you return to your post, the chair by the window, a faded cushion, a perfect view. Outside, the neighborhood is alive again. Birds flicker across the sky like scattered leaves. The mail truck hums in the distance. A squirrel dances along the fence like a performer on a tightrope. You don't pounce, you don't even twitch. You observe with that steady, ancient gaze. You've never been outside, not beyond the porch, but you know it. You've studied every corner of it through this window, and what's more, you remember it. Somewhere inside your bones, the outdoor world is coded into your blood, but this inside life, it's yours now, and it's enough. You close your eyes again and begin to dream once more. This time it's of climbing. You scale the tallest bookshelf. You leap from counter to curtain rod with effortless precision. You are a silhouette against the ceiling, a shadow above the world. A feline spirit in motion. You hear your name. Software smiling. It cuts through the dream like light through fog. Your human is calling you. You blink awake, then leap down with a gentle thud. Pads silent on hardwood. You trot to them with slow intention. They kneel, hold out their hand. You press your head into their palm. It's warm. You close your eyes again, purring. They scratch your chin, and you let them. This is affection without demand, connection without need, a shared ritual. They say something, words you don't need to understand. But you feel their meaning. They are telling you you're good, you're loved, you're home. You follow them as they move about the house, into the hallway, the bedroom, the bathroom, always one step behind, not chasing, not guarding, just witnessing. You jump up on the sink while they brush their teeth. They pretend to be annoyed, but you know they don't mind. You watch the water run. It fascinates you, the way it dances, how it disappears. You paw at it once, then settle in to simply observe. This, too, is a moment worth living. A quiet note in the symphony of your day. When they finish, you leap down and disappear again into your quiet corner, the one behind the curtain where no one sees, where the sun still reaches, where dust floats like glitter, and you rest again. You blink slowly. You yawn and settle, because soon the house will grow quiet again. Your human will leave, and you will return to the silence you understand best. But for now, you listen, you stay near, and you know. This is your life. Simple, gentle, endless, beautiful, and boring. Just the way you like it. The door clicks shut. You heard the keys jingle, the shoes slide on, the usual parting words tossed lightly into the air. Maybe directed at you, maybe just habit. Now it's just you again. You rise from your hiding place behind the curtain. The house hums in its quiet. The refrigerator clicks on. Somewhere, a pipe groans faintly, then settles. You stretch. Front legs long, spine dipped low, tail high in the air like a feathered flag. Then back legs, one at a time. A full, glorious stretch. You pad slowly through the space, unhurried. This is your realm. Every cushion, every shadowed nook, every warm tile patch and soft carpet edge. You walk it like a king returning to his halls. And now begins your favorite part of the day, the quiet, the true quiet, the kind that only exists when the world has left you alone, not forgotten, not abandoned, just left to be. You make your way to the couch and leap up, careful not to disturb the blankets still rumpled from last night's lounging. It smells like you're human, like warmth and detergent, and something else you can't name but know by heart. You knead slowly at the edge of the blanket, claws gently digging in and out. You're not making it more comfortable. You're not prepping to lie down. You're just doing what you've always done. Did you know kneading is a behavior passed down from kittenhood? It's how you once stimulated milk from your mother, and even now in adulthood, you do it when you feel safe, content, connected. It's a muscle memory of love. Satisfied, you circle once, twice, then settle. The sun pours through the window, now in full bloom. It paints the floor in gold. It turns dust motes into falling stars. And you? You become a statue in repose, tail curled, head resting on paw, ears flicking gently to invisible sounds. You listen to the outside world from a distance, the rustle of leaves, a bird squawking too close to the window, a neighbor dragging their trash can, the far-off whine of a lawnmower. But inside, it's still. Still enough to hear your own breath. You sleep again, not deeply, but enough. And when you stir, hours later, you rise with that same easy grace. It's time for another lap, not because something has changed, but because you must check. You walk the hallway again, bathroom, kitchen, bedroom, all as it should be. You pause in the doorway to the spare room. You rarely go in, but today something draws you. A box, a new smell. You investigate, sniff once, twice, rub your cheek along the corner. This is yours now. You step inside and curl up directly on top of the box. It rustles under you. Uncomfortable maybe, but new, interesting. You sleep again, a shorter nap, just long enough to dream. You're hunting. But not with claws. You are stealth itself. The world holds its breath as you move, through tall grasses, over dry earth, a flicker of something ahead, but you wake before the pounce. The room is warmer now. The day has grown older. You jump down, back to the hallway, back to the rhythm. You find your spot by the window again. The sunbeam has moved, but only slightly. You chase it, stretch into it, and breathe. Even when you're still, you are active. Even at rest, you sense. There are those who say cats are lazy, but you know better. This stillness is not sloth. It's mastery, a perfect understanding of energy, a life lived without waste. You rise once more as the shadows lengthen. The sky outside has begun to shift again. The afternoon has arrived. Soon, your human will return. You feel it coming, not just in time, but in the way the light turns soft, the way the air feels heavier, like the world preparing to transition. You walk to the door and wait, not impatiently, not urgently, just ready, as you always are. And in the final moment of this beautifully uneventful day, you sit with your tail wrapped around your paws, head tilted slightly, ears forward, listening, knowing, being. You are a cat, and this is your world, still, calm, endless, and entirely your own. The sun has begun its long descent behind the rooftops. Light no longer fills the room. It glows, soft and low, brushing just the tops of the furniture in a final golden farewell. You are still sitting by the door, still watching. And then, finally, footsteps, familiar ones. You don't rush to the sound, you don't run or meow. You simply rise, with that perfect, unhurried dignity, and walk toward it. The key turns in the lock, the door creaks, and there they are, your human. They smell of the world beyond, of outside air, of metal and fabric, of people and places you've never seen. They're carrying bags, making noises, talking to the empty space. But you know they're speaking to you, too. You weave between their ankles, brushing once, twice, then walking away before they can reach down. This is your ritual. This is how you say, you've returned. You are part of this space again. They follow, unpack, unwind, and you resume your observation post. Couch cushion, backrest, or maybe that chair that was definitely not for cats, but became yours anyway. You watch them cook. Something sizzles. A drawer opens. The fridge hums. You watch. Not because you're hungry, you're not really, but because this, too, is rhythm. Familiar, steady. Eventually, they sit, and you join. You leap up beside them, curl into a loaf, paws tucked in, tail wrapped tight. And for a time, there is quiet companionship. Maybe a screen flickers, maybe music plays low, but mostly it's this. Warmth, stillness, a body beside yours. The mutual understanding of living things who do not need words to exist together. You blink slowly. They notice. They smile. Reach out. Fingers trail down your back. You purr, quiet, automatic, grateful. Later, as twilight deepens, you both move to the bedroom. This is the sacred hour, the winding down. You leap up to your spot, a pillow that was once theirs, a blanket edge they've long since surrendered. You begin to groom, one paw, then the other, your tail, your chest. Each lick is slow, methodical. Did you know cats groom not only to clean, but to regulate body temperature, to relieve anxiety, and to bond with others? When you bathe yourself beside your human, you are sharing more than routine. You are mirroring care, safety, and calm. Your human prepares for sleep. Lights click off. Shadows settle back into the walls. You settle too. But you do not sleep. Not yet. You are in your in-between place again. Eyes half-lidded, ears still alert. You hear the faraway chirp of night insects beginning their chorus. A ceiling fan spins above you, whirring like an old lullaby. Your human sighs into their pillow. Their breath begins its steady rhythm. The air is cool now. You adjust your position, just slightly, to rest your chin on your paws. Your eyes close, then reopen slowly. The room is nearly dark, but you do not need light. You've always seen through shadows. You stare at nothing. And think of even less, a blink, a breath, a thought that flutters past like a moth and vanishes. Somewhere in the middle of all this, you fall asleep, lightly, effortlessly, with your body curled like a question mark. and your dreams waiting just beneath your fur. The night has returned, not suddenly. It eases in like a tide rolling over the edges of your consciousness, gentle and rhythmic. You stir, but only slightly, a shift of one paw, a twitch of an ear. Outside the world whispers. Trees hush each other with their branches. Crickets offer their endless song. The stars, though far, feel like they're watching, like they know your name. You breathe, slow, full. You blink, but your eyes never truly open. Instead, you feel the room, its shape, its temperature, its silence. You hear your humans breathing, steady, familiar, safe. The low hum of electricity pulsing in the walls. Somewhere, a pipe exhales quietly. Somewhere else, a floorboard sighs under its own memory. These sounds are not interruptions. They are lullabies. You are wrapped in them like a blanket. You dream again, not of mice or birds, not of wildness. This dream is softer. You are curled on a cloud. The sun is everywhere, but not hot, just warm. Your body feels impossibly light. You drift between sky and sound. There is no ground, no ceiling, just this space of endless floating and the beat of your own tiny heart, steady as the tick of time itself. The dream shifts. You see yourself, tiny, younger, curled in a box. You remember the first scent of your human, how strange they smelled at first, how loud their world was, how slowly, over days and weeks, that noise softened into music. You remember your first toy, a little felt mouse, the way you pounced with awkward legs, unsure, thrilled. You remember the first time you knocked something off a table and were not scolded. Instead, they laughed. That sound, so big, so bright, rang through you like a bell. You decided in that moment they were yours. And they never stood a chance after that. Your dreams slide from memory to sensation. Now you're in the window again, feeling the glass cold under your paws. Now you're in a cardboard box, purring like thunder. Now you're under the bed just because you can be, because this house has no places off limits, because everywhere is yours, because you are the soul of this place. The dream quiets, you float, the room holds you, time does not move, you are not waiting for anything, not mourning, not a treat, not attention, you are simply being. And this is what cats do best. You hear the gentle thump of a tail. It's yours. It moves once, twice, then stops. Even in sleep, your body remembers the world. Even in dreams, you remain connected. Your breathing deepens again. This time, your body grows heavier, still wrapped in your curl, but now fully surrendered to the hush of night. This is not boredom. This is peace. True peace. Not the kind that must be earned. The kind that simply is. You purr. So softly now it might only exist inside your chest. The walls don't hear it, the furniture doesn't feel it, but you do. And it echoes through your bones like a promise. Outside, the stars shift position. A breeze rattles the window. Another hour slips past. You don't notice. You don't care. You sleep like only a cat can sleep. With the full confidence that the world is fine, that everything you need is here, that tomorrow will be much the same. And that is perfect, because you are a house cat, safe, warm, curious, loved, and in this long, boring, beautiful life, you are exactly where you belong.